before we even get to Paul George, we got to see what the hell happens with CP3. What is going to happen? Are they going to extend this deadline with CP3 to involve him in the move? That's if Warrior fans want Paul George, they need CP3 to agree to extend this deadline. And then extend the deadline, and then CP3 is looking at $30 million. Now, if he gets waived, where's his market? Where's he going to go? But if they waive CP3 today, according to Slater, probably means they can't go big name hunting. So now we go back to CP3, a guy they traded Jordan Poole and a pick for.
I mean, it's just the weight of the Warriors world rests on the shoulders of CP3,
who is always a hated member.
It's almost
always a hated member here.
It's like a script out of a Hollywood movie.
It really is.
Hey, Dub Nation, it's Chris Paul.
It really is. Chris Paul. And, Chris Paul's going right back down to L.A.
If they end up waiving Chris Paul, if they end
you're going to be depressed.
Everyone will be. And then if they, go with their, because if I'm Clay, the way I'm viewing it is they waive Chris Paul and then they circle back to me with their tail between their legs. Oof. That's a tough one.
Lucky us.
Lucky us. So it all comes down. So we forget Paul George. Paul George, put him to the side. Just put him to the side. That is a non-starter if CP3 gets waived today. Oh, can they convince Chris Paul?
It's crazy. You and I, I don't know if it was a week ago, maybe it was 2 weeks ago, you asked me, Clay's priority number one, and I had wrote down.
I thought Wiggins. I thought I said Wiggins. Maybe.
Oh, maybe you said Wiggins. Whatever. What's the priorities? Right, and I was like, the CP3 money is number one because I need to know what the trade market is. And here we are. We're coming down to the day, and it's the CP3 money. It's wow.
This deadline.
And it all goes back to the punch. Because if you did not, I'm teasing. Because if you didn't have the punch.
You hate to go Hawaiian, but you got to bring out the punch.
If you didn't have the punch, we wouldn't have the trade. We wouldn't be with CP3.
What did he say with Evan?
I will never forget doing that show that morning.
No.
5 minutes before the 7 o'clock, TMZ, video coming out.
Oh, no. I tell you exactly the time. It wasn't 5 minutes before 7 o'clock. It was 6:44 a.m. because we just went to the 6:42 a.m. break and we're talking about a football Friday. And then, TMZ, and we're all watching in the studio. And as we're on the break, I look at the call logs and it starts blinking. One by one by one by one. It was like, yup. And then, I always go back to the crossover.
We were like, this is a video. Yeah. You have to see it. It's hard to describe it.
Half of the people calling in, he should be in jail. It's like, oh my God.
Dude, not only that, I just go back to the crossover that
I almost want to go back and just hear what we said.
I need to hear that show. Well, I don't know if I want to go back. Because unfortunately, now that I think about it, this is unbelievable. That happens during our show, you and I. And then the Larry Bear situation happens during the show. Right.
That's right. Well, I had to do the show after the video came out, and it was
Larry Bear?
Oh, yeah.
You did it that night?
I did the 6 p.m. show that night.
Well, I was doing the show in the afternoon when the video got released during a break.
Yeah, that's tough.
During a break, and we're sitting there.
That's difficult.
And then, so I'm saying, 2 TMZ videos broke in the middle of my show during the break, and I'm thinking, oh, gosh, we got to pivot. We had to pivot off of something that day. But then that football Friday, I go back to the crossover. But I go back to the crossover. I go back to the crossover that Thursday with Willard and Dibbs. And when I like Mark Willard so much because he calls.
Do you? Because I feel like you're about to crush him.
Oh no, I'm not to crush him. I'm just saying what he said, and I'm not putting words in your mouth, Mark.
Words in
his
mouth.
Remember, him and Dan Dibley go a tag team on me.
Real quick, why was he so triggered about Bronny yesterday?
No. Who cares? Listen, we can finish the story real quick before I forget.
Yeah.
But no, he goes. Guys, it was just a slap. It's nothing huge. And Dibley's like, yeah, it's just, and I'm like, guys, I don't think it was just that.
It's just a slap.
I just don't, I know, I've heard other things, and unfortunately the video got released, and it wasn't just a slap.
It was a haymaker.
But back to your point, maybe it does start from there. The punch, and then the offseason.
I mean, that's where we're at.
That's where we're at right now, that we're dependent on Chris Paul to say, Chris Paul, we didn't play you ahead of Pajimski to play a game. You didn't always finish with us. We asked you to come off the bench for the first time in your career. Can you do us a favor and extend this deadline, please?
I mean, please.
Please.
I'm out.
I know we've hated you forever, and I know Curry came for all the things that you wanted and the glory and everything, and you've gotten none of that, and you haven't won a damn thing. Please do us this little favor. And the compensation package is $30 million. I mean, look around the NBA right now. Where's he getting $30 million from?
Yeah, he's going to need to extend this.
He wants this $30 million.
Yeah, no doubt.
He needs this $30 million.
We're here.
I mean, it's unbelievable. It is almost like a superhero, multiverse. Like, I don't know if you've watched this Apple Plus show. It's called Dark Matter, where the guy built basically some sort of like a multi-dimension time machine where you can go back in time at different points in your life and all the different choices that you've made and all these different versions of you based off the decisions that you've made. Almost like a butterfly effect meets the multiverse.
Right.
Think of the butterfly effect multiverse we've had ever since the punch.
It is.
I mean, there was a multiverse where the Warriors just keep winning.
It was. It really was. But Guru, I just never forget being in the car, and he's sitting there with Evan Giddings, middle of the afternoon, and he goes, "Evan, I hate to go Hawaiian on you and bring it back to the punch." I was just like, "This is genius, man. All right, we got that drop. We need to get that drop somewhere." Well, speaking of drops, your guy's favorite caller. And I say you guys, Fedonius Shasky.
Who?
Hi, how are you?
Oh, yes. Let's go. Well, I needed this on a Friday.
Jesus
Let's go.
Christ. Wow.
We've had enough Tony this week. Jesus.
No, don't you rip Tony. Don't you leave Tony alone.
Hey, BPA.
Yeah, Fonte, I'm not optimistic about the state of the state, and my confidence levels in Dunleavy Jr. is similar to the confidence levels I had with him about 22 years ago as a Warrior. Which is like, it's just, they don't seem to have much of a plan other than we want to get high upside second rounders in the in the 50s.
Come on, you like Quentin Pope. He looks good in the stretch five. Come on, BPA.
Post.
I'm sure he's going to be incredible. But just
wow.
Yeah, like it's just I mean, could you give Steph some help? I don't think that's an insurmountable thing. Could you just give the guy some help and give him a chance? And they can't, or they won't, or they don't want to. And it just seems that that's where it's going, right? They just don't want to give him any help. And so, and at the end of the day, yeah, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is, right? So Lacob's got his Kuminga project and he wants to give him $30 million and Steph can't give him any help. Can't do it.
BPA,
sorry.
Klay Thompson in Denver.
I honestly, at this point, run it back seems like a best case scenario for the Warriors. So at this point, it's like, yeah, Clay, come back. Let's do nostalgic, okay?
BPA. Why? I didn't ask for the flush. Sorry, I guess your call's not
we
good
have
enough.
said all week you can't run it back, and that's what BPA has said for months.
He's down bad.
He can't.
How many tweets in the first quarter?
That might be the biggest reversal of the year on this show.
I get why Shasky loves BPA now. It just clicked in my brain.
Panic.
Oh,
when presented with horrific information.
No, it's pivot to another panic. That's what you guys do. How can we panic more? Let's pivot and panic. Pivot and panic.
I love you, Brian, by the way, but that you had to get flushed.
Listen, you need to contact Floyd Water Plumbing and Drain at FloydWater.net. Listen, pivot and panic. Pivot and panic. Pivot and panic.
Bonte, you know what's funny?
Don't panic. It's pivot and panic.
You know why I think he was flushed? It's because Padoni is now envisioning an entire roster of LeBron, Bronny, Clay. Like, he's like, no, you can't run it back. I've got the two white boys now. I've got Austin Reeves and Dalton Connect. I mean, he has created the ultimate Spadoni team.
Reeves, Connect, Clay. Oh, the Clay connection is what we're calling it.
Oh, man. Hey, listen.
3.5.
I'm not going to lie. YouTube, shout out to YouTube.
All he needs is Caruso to come back.
YouTube's on fire. YouTube's on fire right now. Chris M with one. BPA hit Bonte with an Uno reverse card. I didn't expect that one.
Now go draw four.
Wow. Draw four. Man, you guys are down bad. Hey, it's just getting started, baby. We've waited all this time for the offseason. Don't panic.
If they go nostalgia tour, we'll be in reruns for the next multiple years.
Oh, we'll make it work. We'll make it work.